there folks, rinimt here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. I almost said Stormblood, wow. And the last part, we finally wrapped up side quests for Shadowbringers, and now it's time to do the job quest. I'm just gonna go up the list like I've always done. You know the drill by now. Amongst Legacy. Arya, excellent timing. I have a request for you. I have a request to ask of you. Right now, it is a simple task that shan't overburden your simple mind. In no small part due to your valor, Alamigo has won free of Imperial tyranny, but something is afoot that gives me cause for concern. Not long ago, a soldier of the resistance camp came asking after Withergilt's whereabouts. As you know, the buffoon was once a captain of the resistance, and he had gathered under him like-minded men and women who burned with an all-consuming hatred of the Empire. While the inquiry may have been completely innocuous, we cannot discount the possibility that there are those who burn with hatred still, who mean to drag Withergilt back on the path of vengeance. Though the Withergilt, as we know him now, would not lend such talk an ear, he may not be given a choice. Lest it turn ugly, I want you to find your brother and Falcon and lure him to the dangers. Why is there an extra 2 in there? That was just throwing me off. The last time we saw Withergilt was in Alagana. If he isn't still there, the villagers may at least be able to direct you to him. Go quickly, Arya. And once I can select the right category, we'll head to Alagana. Information. Hello. You're the monk from before. The way you laid the corpse brigade low was just glorious. I want to become strong like you, so I went and joined the monkhood. Never once skipped training, I'm proud to say. Master Withergilt, last I spoke with him, he mentioned that he was trying to find Theobald. Fellow disappeared while under the healer's care. Someone saw him staggering out of the village in the early hours, headed west by the sound of it. Okay. Do we really have to keep searching? I guess so. Wait, are you Master Withergilt's master? Looking for him, you say. He's not here at the moment, but he comes fairly often to train us. Though he's a hard teacher, he inspires hard work. Thanks to his guidance, I was able to earn my cloth. Right, his whereabouts. During his last visit, he said that he was going to Little Alamigo next. If you hurry, he might still be there. Alright, confident villager. Ah, yes, I remember you, friend. Is there something you need? Master Withergilt, he's been traveling around the Eorzea spreading the teachings of the monkhood. He comes back to Alagana from time to time to train our people, but I couldn't rightly say when he'll visit next. I guess we're going to Little Alamigo, because that's what it says to do. Wait, what? Oh, seriously? Oh, he's right there. Right there! Arya, I did not expect to see you here. This grave, know you who lies here? Is a man who called himself Theobald, my closest brother, Audrey. We had brought him to Alagana for healing, but he fled in spite of his wounds. He looked like a hunted man, so do witnesses say. Do not believe that. Audrey was not one to flee. He had used the corpse brigade. He knew they would come for him. Rather than wait, he went to them, and now he is gone. I wanted him to live, to stand on my side again. I should have done more. You tried your best to have him see the light, like you did for us. You mustn't be so hard on yourself. Much has happened with you too, sister. That much is plain. Come, let me hear your tale. A hunter who found his path. So Lu Reek chose to sever ties with his kin. A resolve to which I can relate. I, too, chose my own path. Spurned blood in favor of faith. Your part in this tale impresses me also. To do battle in a world flooded with light. Yet again, I'm reminded of your greatness. Ah, but my apologies. You have traveled far. Is there something you require? A soldier of the Resistance seeks me. What could his purpose be? You don't suppose they're coming after those of Theodric's line? And it seems to me the Resistance would be above such acts. Yet I can offer no alternate explanation. Captain, it's been a while, sir. It has been a while indeed. I am no one's captain. I have long left the Resistance. Forgive me, sir, about old habits. It's hard to regard you as anything save my esteemed captain. But if that is not your preference, Master Withergill, may I ask you to accompany me to Rhalgr's Reach? There's a matter we wish to discuss with you. Is that so? Very well then, lead the way. Zensa, Ochaka, please wait here. I will return anon. Arya, may I ask you to join me? You are well regarded in the Resistance. Your presence would give me heart. Without further ado then, let us be away. Free warp? Of course not. That'd be way too much to ask. I almost turned the wrong way. Sorry for keeping you. Oh, hi. I'm Lise Hex of the Almagan Resistance. Thank you for coming all this way. Arya, don't tell me you know Master Withergill. I'm a monk? Hello? Arya is a dear comrade. I owe her much and more. Well, that makes it easier then. To get right to the heart of the matter, Mr. Withergill, we wish to invite you to rejoin the Resistance. Under the Mad King and then the Garleans, the people of Alamigo lived in crippling fear and mutual mistrust. In rebuilding the nation, we want to create a place where folk can believe in and support one another. A place where everyone is regarded as a friend. Even those who are kin to the Mad King. We should have reached out to you earlier, I know. But we fear that doing so would incite those who plot a return to the old rule. It's quite alright, Commander. I know your intent is good and true. However, I cannot rejoin the Resistance. I would serve my nation as a humble monk. This I have sworn to myself. A man named Theodred never existed. There was only Withergill, and he wishes to restore that which was once lost, the teachings of the Fist of Rhalgr. See, then you must do what your heart tells you. Let's try this again. I put this request to Withergill of the Fist of Rhalgr. I want you to train the soldiers of the Resistance. Though we won our freedom, we must be prepared to fight to keep it. And I believe that your techniques would serve us well. I've never trained properly myself, and for what it's worth, I'm very keen to learn. And I should be honored to teach. Great! We're in your debt. If I might make a request of my own, may I visit the Temple of the Fist? I would pay my respects. Of course, you hardly need my permission for that. Come on, Arya, let's all go together. Being here brings back memories. I remember the high priest, my brother and sister monks. All of them gone now, in fire and smoke. But you survived, like the temple's stout stones, and thanks to your efforts, the faith has begun to rise from the ashes. Not my efforts alone. And all I have achieved, I owe to many others. Professor Eric, Zensa, Ochaka, and not least of all, Arya. I couldn't have come this far on my own either. Like you, I had your comrades that propped me up and pushed me forward. And I'll never stop forging on. For Alamigo. Our paths may differ, but our goals are one and the same. There is no more need for words. Arya, the professor worries for me. Please return to him. Let him know that all is well. Ah, you were returned. Were you able to find Withergill? Oh, I see. I'm pleased to hear that his effort to revive the Fist of Rogger proceeds apace. Of course, it will still take considerable time for the faith to take root across the land, but Withergill is young and determined. The day will come when he realizes his dream. But I think there was none other than Kurt Heck's daughter that sought him out. A woman who embraces her lineage and the man who rejects his. Viewed thus, their paths could not be more different. But as they have discovered, their goals are one and the same. Alamigo is stronger for their cooperation. In any case, it appears my concerns were unfounded. My thanks for laying my fears to rest. For a while, though, I believe I observed these two souls in their future endeavors. After all, I am nothing if not observant. You might notice that no message popped up saying that when you complete such and such quest in Endwalker, because there's no job quest in Endwalker. Hate to break it to you now, but there's no job quest in Endwalker. At least as of recording this, but anyway, let's go make a trip to Mordona. Succession of Steel. Arya, I was about to go looking for you. I've had a letter from Zruntia, and he has asked me to pass on a message. Arya, I hope this missive finds you well. Should you come across Arya in Revenant's Toll, pray send her to me in the Alamigan Quarter. I have need of her help. What could be happening in Alamigo, I wonder? Well, I suppose there's one way to find out. Let's go! Okay. Let's go. Still can't choose the right category. Right behind me? Right behind me. How wonderful to see my two erstwhile students, and not a moment too soon. We are glad to see you too, Zrun, though I gather the situation is not a happy one. You gather correctly. You recall the brotherhood I was once part of, the Crimson Duelists? Well, it seems the keepsakes left behind by my deceased colleagues have run afoul of some unsurprising grave robbers. When the duels met their end some 2 decades past, I was too deeply engaged in my own battles to give them the burial they deserved. And so I did what many before me have done. I collected the blades of the dead and interred them within the tomb of the errant sword. With Alamigo much settled since the initial reclamation of the city, I judged it time to pay respects to my fallen comrades. That is when I discovered the tomb in disarray, and one of the duelist swords missing. It would seem such petty acts of larceny had become common of late, and although the resistance speaks of taking steps, The army has its hands full overseeing the restoration efforts. But it's said that unrest and dissent have largely disappeared under General Alden's command. Why does sudden rash of lawbreaking? Well, now that the Imperials have been beaten back, those who once suckled from the Empire's teat are forced to look elsewhere for the wealth to which they are accustomed. For some, this means taking up a life of banditry. And for the lowest among them, it means ransacking the resting places of their countrymen, a crime I do not intend to leave unpunished. As things stand, however, I have yet to deliver said judgment. This particular gang is uncommonly swift of foot, and I must temper my attacks lest I slay them ere learning the location of their stash loot. Thus do I turn to you for assistance. Capturing these thieves alive will be far easier with an extra pair of hands. If it's extra hands you need, then count me in. Without red magics at your beck and call, nay, 'tis too dangerous for one still relearning her art. I've been practicing against the creatures of Mordona ever since we parted ways. My magics may not be what they once were, but I can cast the initiate spells well enough, I promise. The monsters of Mordona are not to be trifled with. That was a risky path to take at this stage of your training. I took risks, yes, but not foolhardy ones. If I don't push myself to my limits, then I'll never catch up to you or Arya. I wager you'll not take no for an answer. Very well, but do not leave my side, understood? Yes, thank you, Zerun. You won't regret this. The three of us, then. Bloodhow is where the grave robbers ply their unsavory trade, and the edge of the graveyard is where we shall meet. And down. I'd like to simply snatch up those grave robbers, but they have proven an infuriatingly slippery foe. A foe who now knows my face. Which is why you, Arya, must play the role of deceiver. Search the graveyard until you find the thieves in question, then convince them it is in their best interest to slink over here to the east. Once the scoundrels are too close to escape, Arya and I will spring our trap. Right back here. Maybe. Right back here. Hello. How's the weather? You looking for trouble, mate? How big a fool do you have to be to just wander up to a gang like this? What are you doing over here? You'll find far richer spoils in the graves to the east. Is that so, eh? We'd about picked this plot clean anyway, so maybe we'll take that advice. Thanks for the hint, friend. Oh, and not that we doubt your word or anything, but you'd best come with us. Call it a show of good faith amongst thieves. We'll be waiting just up ahead. Cool. That's not very far. Hello. Don't worry about our two mates. They went ahead to the east, just like you suggested, and us. Oh, well, someone's got to eliminate the competition. Do they now? Yeah, I guess I gotta eliminate you, huh? Like so. Nice done, Arya. We caught these two completely off guard. I must say, Arya, you exceed my expectations. You've made impressive progress in such a short length of time. Yes, I knew those lessons to the mage guilds were worth it, even if it was painful to begin at the beginning again. Oh, I see you've been cracking open as many books as you have monster skulls. Your dedication to the fundamentals has certainly paid off. Now, I count 4 brigands the last I was here. Knowing what I do with such villains, I assume the other 2 sought to waylay you. Yet here you stand with scarce a hair out of place, all jesting aside. I suspect your skills have surpassed my own. What trials must you have endured to forge such strength? I fought on another star to save the world from oblivion. Another star? Even your adventures play out on the stage beyond my wildest imaginings. Let's talk of sending nerds, was it? It sounds to me as if your battles took place on the edge of suffering itself, where the heart and steel of even the mightiest red mage would be tested. But whilst it is endlessly gratifying to hear the exploits of one's former student, I suppose we should return to the matter at hand. Once we have subdued these ruffians here, a few threats gleaned us the location of their ill-gotten gains. I'll bury the box in the royal hunting grounds, or so they claim. I believe in our division of labors in order. Arya, pray hand our captives over to resistance, then wait for us at the tomb with the errant sword. Arya, you and I have some digging to do. Back west we go. Further west we... Way west we go! Oh gosh. Hello, I'm here, finally. Do you feel that? The ground is soft. Certainly not as packed down as elsewhere. I think we found their cache. Glad I am to have found this before they hauled it off to the black market. Crack the lid to check the contents, and the box is indeed filled with stolen goods, including one rather familiar sword. Come, we should return these articles to the tomb. With any luck, Arya will have arrived already. Can't even free warp me over there? Right, let's return these relics to their rightful places. That should be the last of them. But what of your comrade's blade? Ah well, would you indulge me in a moment of nostalgia? The man who wielded the sword suffered from shallow reserves of ether, and so he commissioned a weapon capable of channeling his energies in the most efficient manner. So you might imagine the custom blade thus forged cost him a small fortune in coin. We would taunt him in his empty purse without mercy, of course, challenging him to become a mage worthy of such a priceless steal. His reply to our jeering comments would always stay with me. Even should I fail to do this steal justice, it will remain long after I have perished. A kindred soul shall take up the sword, and when you will see that my coin was wisely spent. His hopes for such a legacy died with the Crimson Duelists. I entombed the blade, believing that no new mage would rise to claim it. But I was wrong. You two stand here as living proof that our efforts to revive red magic were not in vain. 'Twas when I discovered the sword missing that I was put in mind again of my comrade's words. And I wonder if he did not orchestrate this affair from beyond the grave, if only to remind me of his will. Arya, you appear to have a distinct taste in weapons. This blade, I think, should belong to Arya. But I'm not even your student right now. I don't think I deserve to have it. I made a promise to you, did I not? That once you learn to harness your ether, I would take you under my tutelage once more? The way I see it, you have more than upheld your end of the bargain. Accept the sword, Arya. Be my apprentice and help me usher in a new future for the Red. You should take the sword. I will, but if you would offer to accept me as your student once more, then let this be my answer. It is done. Let's present here this day swear. Let us present here this day swear a new oath to fight for the common good with pure heart and unbending steel. And so concludes our business here. But as much as I should like to accompany you back to Mordona, I fear my own pilgrimage must continue. This war with the Imperials has Alamigo teetering on the brink of uncertainty once more, and I must assume the situation is most taxing for you and your fellow scions. Thus, for the time being, shall I keep my blade loose in its sheath. I may be but one man, but know that I shall remain vigilant against the Empire's machinations as I chart my course across the lands of Eorzea. I am sorry that I cannot devote myself to your lessons, Arya. The demands of the road are sure that I cannot take you with me and still hope to move as swiftly. Your oath takes precedence, of course. I'm ecstatic just to know you'll be my mentor once more. Once again, please stay safe on your travels. I appreciate your understanding, and I will stop by to aid your progress in Revenant's Toll whenever circumstances permit. I take my leave then. Fare you well, Arya, and when next we meet, I expect your scarlet hues shall be ever the more vivid. Shall we make our way back to Mordona then? Yeah, I guess we shall. I've been so consumed with restoring my magics, but now I have a new goal. Learning to wield my new sword with perfect execution. With Sroon's instruction, I mean to become a red mage worthy of his comrade's weapon. And I wouldn't say no to any help from you either, Arya. Yay! Red on arrival 3! And, you know I said I'd just go up the list. But Gunbreaker is right here. So I'm just gonna do Gunbreaker before Astrologian. Gunblades of the Patriots. Arya, good to see you again. Since we last met, I've been introduced to a fair few adventurers who hope to learn the art of the Gunbreaker. Though, having taught you, my expectations are perhaps a little too high. Radovan's been so preoccupied, he's hardly taken on any other jobs, leaving me with plenty of time on my hands. Those women who work for Rowena have had me running about after bookstones. Or was it stone tomes? I forget which. Anyway, what have you been up to? A man who protects his loved one. A friend who became a Gunbreaker. How can that be? Learned it well in Imperial territory, eh? But that doesn't change the fact that I'm the only Gunbreaker to escape the destruction of Boja's Citadel. If I didn't train him, who did? That's it. Well, others must still be out there. I you mention it, an adventurer from Gridania told me they saw a man in Carlin canopy carrying a weapon a lot like your gunblade. Hrothgar, too. I thought they were talking about you, so I didn't pay much attention. But you haven't been back there since we moved to Revenant's Toll. I wonder who it could be. Sophie! Why didn't you say something sooner? If it's truly one of my fellow gunbreakers, I have to find them. We should probably go with him. Even if there isn't our gunblade-wielding Hrothgar, it doesn't necessarily mean they'll be too pleased to see Radhavan. Perhaps Mother Mio knows something about it. Why, yes, a man like the one you described was here but a few days ago. And you're sure he had a gunblade like mine? Identical, I would say. But more importantly, he was looking for you, Radhavan. I was in the midst of explaining the assignment I gave you. He suddenly ran off in search of your former client. He was gone before I had the chance to ask his name. Who could he be, and what does he want? Oh look! It's my favorite bodyguards! What a surprise! I was hoping we never... I thought we'd never see you again. Since last we met, my sweet Marigold has returned to thrilling audiences with her uplifting performances. As a matter of fact, we've come here to bring to her continued success. Then your timing and choice of venue are impeccable, for we have need of your help. Do you by any chance remember Hrothgar, a man who was looking for Radhavan? He may have asked you about the assignment to guard Editha. Yes, I know of whom you speak. We had heard that Radhavan was last seen making a beeline for Ulda, and we told him as much. He won't stay for long when he realizes I'm no longer there. I had best find him before he moves on. If he follows a similar line of questioning, it'll lead him to our former client. Since Oriel is most likely still undergoing treatment, he'll probably end up talking to Gerard instead. I must say, he was a rather fearsome-looking chap, not the sort of person who you want chasing you. Make sure he doesn't kill you or anything. Thanks to you, Tim and I have been living together for a while now. Most of the money I earn goes to Frondale's Fronastery for Oriel's care, though thankfully we still have enough to keep a roof over our heads. Slowly but surely, she's improving, though she still can't forgive herself for what she put Tim through. I'm not sure I can either, but she's all we got. We're all she's got. Daddy says Mommy was very sick before, but she's getting better. Happiness comes easily to some people, while others have to fight for it. Hope you find the strength to support each other in the days to come. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, a man was asking about you. Hrothgar bloke, similar sort too. Told him you left Ulda. He headed off in the direction of the airship landing. Not again. He's probably already in Little Minto looking for you. Let's go straight to Futag, and pray we're not too late. Alright, so we're just wild goose chase here. Cool, cool. This is the first time I've seen the three of you since the business with Goldwaits, yes? As planned, his testimony led to the convictions of several high-profile criminals. And a few days later, he died peacefully in his sleep. See, even though he knew he was beyond forgiveness, his final deed has made Little Minto a safer place. If only he'd seen the error of his ways sooner. There was one other thing. A fellow an awful lot like you came through not long ago, and he was looking for you, Radhavan. I told him that you'd moved on, and he should try his luck around the airship landing. He must have gone to Ishgard. He'll eventually find his way to Reese, who will hopefully keep him busy until we arrive. Come on, we'd best get going. You know, if we're literally just following him to where we've been, you'd think we would just go to the end and wait. That would be a logical thing to do. Be like, oh, let's just follow all the way around. Ah, there you are. We were just discussing that gunbreaker fellow you're chasing after. He was here looking for you, but I'm afraid you've missed him. I might have guessed. Back to Revenant's Toll it is, then. Hold on. When I mentioned Master Mamul, that Hrothgar fellow seemed rather taken aback and asked where he could find him. I didn't see any reason not to tell him, so... You bloody fool! If a Bulletin survivor is looking for him, his life could be in danger. By the Fury, what have I done? Where's Mamula? Well, didn't inspect the exterior walls of Camp Dragonhead, so he's probably at Providence Point. We have just done this in the first place. Voices up ahead. With me, Arya. Stop! Radhavan, I've been looking everywhere for you. Get away from him, Rostic! Please, calm yourself, Radhavan. He means me no harm. Like you, I've chosen to put the past behind me. In fact, I came here to ask for Mamula's aid in rebuilding Bolgia Citadel. But that's... impossible? Far from it. You see, we were not the only ones to escape the destruction of our home. Those who were away on missions or visiting other settlements were spared. There's a chance that... Listen, Radhavan, your family is gone, lost in the blast. The monarchy too. And yet our clan lives on. I will seek out survivors, so that we may build a home together. If we cannot return to where Bolgia once stood, we shall find a new land to call our own. Nothing will ever right the wrongs I have committed. Even so, I shall do everything in my power to make Rostic's dream a reality. Radhavan, will you join us? I'm sorry, Rostic. I have already lost one family. I do not wish to lose another. Though we are not joined by blood and are as different as night and day, we have each other. And that's not all. I pass on the ways of the Gunbreaker to Arya, the first of many, I hope. I too taught someone from outside of our clan how to wield the gunblade. You have much in common with him, Radhavan. He too has someone that he wants to keep by his side, like family. If you meet any other Bolgians, tell them that I would welcome their help. Perhaps one day our paths will cross again. Look after each other. Thank you, Rostic. Fare thee well. It would have been nice if they had, like, updated this quest to, you know, have different dialogue if you've already finished Dalriada and everything. Be nice. So much for being a gunblade-wielding murderer. He seemed quite nice, actually. Yes, I'm glad to have been proven wrong on this occasion. Rostic is still as honorable and as wise as I remember him. Nonetheless, I appreciate your coming to my aid. I must admit, I feared the worst when he appeared out of nowhere, though he soon made his intentions clear. Never expected such kindness from not one, but two men who have every reason to want me dead. I'm grateful to you both for allowing me to work for the greater good. Speaking of which, I must fulfill my obligations to the Ishgardians until we meet again. Now that's over, we should return to Revenant's Toll and try to earn back the money we spent on airship tickets. Which we wouldn't have done if we would have just gone there when we figured out he was chasing after our path. But that'd be logic. All this time, I thought it was the only Bolgian left. Now that I know that Rostic and several others are still out there, perhaps I don't need to rush my search for new gunbreakers. In fact, I think I would be better off working as a bodyguard again and show people throughout Eorzea what we Bolgians are capable of. is believing, after all. Maybe I could do the same for Dalmasca? Oh, did I not tell you? I'm originally from Rabanaster, the capital. The sea itself was destroyed, deliberately, I might add, by the Garleans after the failed rebellion, but our traditions live on. And I think I made quite a good ambassador for my people. If everything goes according to plan, we'll be traveling to the far corners of the realm, meeting all sorts of people, though we'll still use Revenant's Toll as a place to hang our hats, as I believe the saying goes. Of course, with as gifted a successor as you, I'll want to keep training so I won't be outdone. Or maybe you'll be the one teaching me next time. Hooray! Gunhilder's Blade 2! Which makes a whole heck of a lot more sense now we've completed Bullshit. Anyway, let's make a trip back to Foundation. Love astrologically. Yeah, you always seem to know the precise moment at which your services are required. Such as the mark of an accomplished astrologian, if I do say so myself. Which would, of course, imply you're aware of what I would ask of you. Yet, I shall indulge you with my request nonetheless. It is Master Rufin. Following our return from the Kugane, she has been distant. Well, more distant than usual. Given enough to give one pause at least. I thought I might ascertain the source of her worriment with the deck of 60, but was presented with the usual gullion of vague portents and portentous vagaries. But at the time I unwrapped my throbbing head from the spread, all I could discern was something about a dark wind blowing from the east. I suppose this could imply any number of things. Ill tidings from our allies in Doma, a rainstorm brooming over the Shroud, the fire at that fine patisserie near the Ark of the Venerable. I suppose even you could be the Dark Wind. No. Right. Let's simply say I am worried about our companion, but am at a loss as to how I might help her. Leveva has been spending much of her days up at the last vigil, staring blankly out over the sea of clouds. I attempted speaking with her, but is about as receptive to my concerns as one might expect. Perhaps, though, she would prove more forthcoming with her star pupil. It will never work, and I was a fool to think. Oh, Arya, just the woman I wanted to see. Might you remember Kyokuo? A lanky fellow, disheveled hair, somewhat capable of the geomantic arts. Well, it appears his travels will be bringing him once again to Ishgard. Seeing as he has provided me with a wealth of valuable insight into his discipline, the least I could do would be to greet him upon his arrival. Unfortunately, I must see to some unfinished affairs near the architects. Would it be too much to ask for you to visit the Aetherite Plaza in my stead? I shall catch up with both of you later at the Athenaeum Astrologicum. Okay. Arya, imagine us meeting here. Could be fate. I jest. Slow down, friend. I've only just arrived in Ishgard and already are recruiting me some urgent cause. You Westlanders certainly don't waste your time. I intended this to be but a short visit to discuss how matters have progressed since you vanquished Kinko and aided me in restoring my grandfather's wards. However, I suppose all that can wait. To Athenaeum, then. It's good to see you again, Jonathan. Alright, tells me all is not well with Lady Leveva? So I see someone has wasted little time in informing every rat in the broom of matters that I thought obvious are of a more personal nature. Oh, save the drama for the stage, my friend. Arya merely recognized that the intimate connection Lady Leveva and I forged in Kugane made me the perfect candidate for discerning what might be weighing oh so heavily on her soul. And how do you propose to do that? Do it? I've already done it. Lady Leveva's in love. Of course she is. Wait, what? Her arch enemy defeated, her father's memory honored, and a city saved. Lady Leveva has conquered the countless peaks that rose before her with an air of aplomb that would belie her mere 16 summers. Now, bereft of purpose, she has turned her eyes to companionship to fill the void that lies agape in her heart. I believe I can help, Arya. Might you know where the lonely lady's current whereabouts? Those massive stone effigies? A raw masculinity? Oh, it's worse than I thought. We must make haste. Look, there she is. And then why are we here? I was afraid you might ask that. What do you think we should do? Or what do you think we should do? I don't know. But a humble student of the geomantic arts, I have little understanding when it comes to matters of the heart. And what, pray tell, are you two doing here? Greetings and salutations, my dearest Leveva. Aren't you looking most resplendent this fine afternoon? Ever splendid. Spent a few bells in the books, have we? Time will tell if this new vocabulary suits you, but time is not a luxury I'm afforded at this moment. The city's din is positively deafening. It stifles my thoughts and upsets my humors. What I require is clarity. Something unattainable within these stone walls. The quiet of Camp Dragonhead, however, may provide me with a moment's respite. Oh, and you may cease with the ridiculous talk of matters of the heart. Love is the furthest of my worries. I, for one, am already promised to another. Promised? How is that even? Ah, Kyokuho, there is no need to kneel in my presence. Did I miss anything? I see. It comes as a little surprise that one of her social standing would be betrothed at such a young age. Such is the custom amongst older houses, even in the city as progressive as Astrologian, and she hails from one of the oldest. Suppose it's just that... Kyokuho! Whether the vim and vigor from our conversation earlier, and all this upon learning Lady Leveva's to be married, more still observant might presume a certain emotional attachment to our young protege. But that would be ludicrous. I, for one, know that good Kyokuho's feelings towards Leveva are not but those of admiration for her skill at the astromantic arts. So let's return to the task at hand. We still do not know what is weighing down on the lady's fragile heart. And what better way to find out than to ask? A noble idea, don't you think? Asking someone what is troubling them rather than assuming, without actually having spoken with them or even seen them for some time, that they're simply longing for amorous relations. Wonderful! Kyokuho and I shall return to Athenium, where I will make certain he refrains from idle meddlement in any other lives. Hello. As persistent as always. Fine, you have seen through my ruse. I am not, in fact, promised to another. I simply imply as much to silence Kyokuho. Alright, there was a time I was promised to another. We have my grandfather to thank for that. However, since I'm officially deceased, my assumption is that the arrangement will have been annulled. Not that I shall ever bother to actually confirm this assumption. What trouble me? It was not my intention to involve you or Jean and Quinard or even Kyokuho in such matters. However, the discord in my silence has so on perhaps warrants an explanation. Despite repeated efforts following our recent achievements in Kugane, I have been unable to conceive feasible means of blending the teachings of Charlian astrology and those of Far Eastern geomancy. As Kyokuho explained, unlike astrologians who look to the stars above to read their fates, geomancers look to the star below and listen to its songs and draw their answers from its whispers. Yet try as I might, I remain impotent to tabulate lad's precepts. I spent my life between the slight variations in the ether of distant stars, so much so that when I looked to Hydaelyn in her ether, I'm overwhelmed by its potency. Its glow, you could say. Think of it as trying to open one of the heaven's gates in the world of everlasting daylight. World of everlasting daylight! About that! You have visited such a place? Then my readings were accurate. Exactly where have your adventures taken you, Arya? And you had no trouble channeling the ether from that world's heavens, despite the fact you never once physically laid eyes upon them? Intriguing. But I'm a woman of reason and shall require more than the word of another, no matter how close, to convince me of this phenomenon. A first-hand demonstration, however, might suffice. A single aspect of benefit, perhaps? So, because of there being no nocturnal and diurnal anymore, I can just hit the button. Your faculty for ethereally conversing with celestial bodies, both far and near, is peerless, a most eloquent display, and one I should endeavor to learn from. I have committed to the most grievous of sins by allowing things such as light, distance, and dimension, things that hold no dominion over the realm of ethereal, to prevent me from embodying my full potential. You, however, helped me to realize the error of my ways. I believe now I might continue my studies. Just not here. I'm unsure why I thought this would be a suitable location to ponder my predicament in the first place. Perhaps it was the memories of our first lesson here. Let's hurry back to Athenium, lest we catch a cold. Foremost, I believe I owe you both an apology, or at least I owe you one, Jonathan Bernard. As for you, Kyokuho, how do you arrive at the ridiculous notion that I was somehow languishing in the throes of love? When Arya and Jonathan Bernard mentioned you were not yourself after returning from Kugane, I simply assumed that... Dare suggest that we had any head in this, Kyokuho? You were not a quarter bell in the pillars before you were telling anyone who would listen about the cavernous maw that yawned in the heart of the poor, lonely Master Rufin. Now you were the fillet. Lonely? Far from lonely. In fact, I've already promised my heart to another. Of course, already promised to... Wait, what? You heard me. I've never spoken a truer word. Whoever could it be? It is certainly not Arya, or Heaven's Rufin, Kyokuho. Why, astrology, of course. What did you expect? Whimpering? I suppose you're wondering what brought me to Ishgard in the first place. It most certainly wasn't to ruffle Master Rufin's feathers, though it seems I succeeded in that nonetheless. Our triumph over Kiko having restored the people of Kugane's faith in geomancy, it was not long before a gaggle of eager mages were clamoring at my door, seeking guidance in the art of wind and water. To accommodate, I transformed my grandfather's study into a place where I might train those who are willing to invest the time and effort necessary to become masters. Which reminds me, my students are likely wondering where their sensei is. Farewell, Arya. So he came to tell us of his new school of geomancy. Did we not give him a link pearl? At any rate, allow me to thank you once again for the inspiration you provided. Despite being your mentor in matters astrological, I find myself consistently in your debt when it comes to, well, everything else. You are a true friend and confidant, Arya. And as always, she has once again failed to acknowledge that it was I who first noticed her change in mood. It was my reading that predicted your arrival, and it was my good judgment that eventually pointed you in her direction. But such is my destiny, I suppose. I am simply happy that Layla Veva is back to her normal self. If aught were to befall her, Rufin would haunt me until the 8th Umbral era. Thank you again, Arya. I would say we make a fine team, but considering you cover the Coral's share of the footwork, I will refrain from any further analogies of a sporting nature. Stars in our faults. Alright. I want to save the best for last, but that's just because there's like a really cool cutscene, a dancer one, so. Rising to the occasion. Well, if it isn't Arya, what a delightful surprise. And just look at that posture and poise. I can see you've not neglected your training one bit since we last parted. As for us, True False Same continues to tour Eorzea, bringing hope to the dejected and downtrodden. Whenever and wherever the Totentas threatened to rear its ugly head, we were there to cast out the shadows. With tales of our performance spreading across the realm, we've had no small number of aspiring dancers knocking at our door. Training that was consuming nearly all my waking hours, but recently Rana has stepped in to help shoulder the burden. Truly, I'd be lost without her. What of you, Arya? Have you had any noteworthy performances since we met? I journey in search of a legendary hero. But I thought our voyage to distant shores a long one. You seem to have yourself quite an adventure, though I must confess the full import of your tale is quite beyond my comprehension. Still, this bounty hunter you befriended put you in quite a predicament, didn't he? It reminds me of another troublemaker I used to know. Me? A troublemaker? I may have been immature, but I only have my friend's best interests at heart. Isn't that right, Arya? And besides, it sounds like even this bounty hunter came around in the end. Indeed, there is a certain something about you, Arya. Something that brings out the best in those whose lives you touch. And Rana here is a prime example. The hot-headed girl I once knew has come into her own as a dancer, a woman, and a leader of her peers. Perhaps it is finally time that... Yes, I'm sure of it. Arya, Rana, there's a dilemma that has been weighing heavily on me of late, but I do believe I finally found an answer. Pray accompany me out of the city to Lunacia. I'll discuss matters further with you away from the crowds. Nope. Why are you still running? Arya, Rana, forgive me for not sharing the news with you two sooner. As fortune would have it, True False Same has been invited to perform at the Muji Koza in Kugane, and our patrons are willing to pay a premium for our services. The Muji Koza? You mean I could dance on the same stage that has hosted some of the most renowned artistes in all the Far East? Someone pinched me. When do we leave? As soon as we are able, and therein lies my dilemma. The threat of the Totentas still looms over Eorzea, and I have a duty to train the next generation of dancers to carry on True False Same's mission. I cannot very well abandon these shores while my life's work remains undone, and so I turn to you. Ranamigo, you have blossomed into a fine dancer and a capable leader. Would have you assume my role as principal and oversee True False Same's tour of Kugane. Mistress Nashmira, what are you saying? It is the only practical solution. You will travel to Kugani to share our art with our friends in the Far East. I can remain here to train our new recruits and deliver the people of Eorzea from the throes of the Totentas. But I'm not ready for this. There's still so much I must learn. You told me as much just moons ago. And I've seen you come far since then. No one is born a leader, and doubtless it'll be a struggle at first. You are every bit as prepared for this role as I was the day I inherited it. I would not make this offer if I did not believe this with all my heart, and yet I cannot and will not force a position upon you. At the very least, pray think upon it for a while. Me, leader and principal of True False Same? I still believe Mistress Nashmira has lost her wits? I still remember the days I would trip over my own 2 feet every time I took the stage. And yet, she seems intent on remaining here in Eorzea. If I refuse, the curtains will fall on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to showcase her art on the Far East's biggest stage. And yet, were I to go and fail spectacularly? I swear my mind is going in circles. Whatever should I do, Arya? It's not like me to brood and fret like this! You're a dancer, are you not? What are you saying? That if I cannot find the answer I seek in still thought, perhaps I might find it in motion? You may very well be right. Dance with me, Arya. Show me through the motions all you have learned in your travels, and help me to clear the shadows of doubt from my mind. Okay, once we close the map, sunny view, no sign of onlookers from Olms. Yes, this place should serve nicely for our private performance. We dance today not for admiring crowds. Our only audience is each other and pugils. So face me, Arya. I would look upon your movements in all their glory and let you inspire me to greater heights. Nice shot. Oh, thank you, Arya. That was simply exhilarating. For the first step, I couldn't take my eyes off you. Before I knew it, I'd forgotten myself, my worries carried off by the wind. You are watching me, yes? What do you think? Have I truly come far, as Mistress Nashmira says? You'll go further. Ha! So you're saying there's still room for improvement, eh? Well, consider the challenge accepted. I'll train harder than ever, and next time we meet, you'll see that I'm truly capable of. In any event, this I know more than ever. Dancing is my life, my calling. I must continue to perfect my craft, that I might inspire and bring hope to others, just as Mr. Nashmira and you have inspired me. The answer is clear to me now. I may not be the leader that she was, but I will be the leader that I know I can be. Thank you for everything, Arya. I must return the limbs to the related news to Mistress Nashmira. You'll join me there, won't you? Of course. You gotta finish the quest, right? No, I swear, I didn't run right by him. Had to warp back. Rana here came dashing into the town, half out of breath. I don't understand what this means. The girl's found her answer, has she not? You bet I have. I may not be ready to fill your toe shoes completely, but damned if I'm not gonna try. Leave a tour of Kugane to me. I am proud of you, Rana. Now go and tell the others that you must begin preparations at once. I will be along with Arya shortly. While I am beyond pleased with the results, I must admit I did not expect the girl to reach a decision so quickly. Whatever did you do to bring about her change of heart? That I can't say. It's between you and Rana, you say? Well, with all the secrets I've kept from you, I suppose I'm not one to talk. And yet, as silly as it sounds, I cannot help but envy the friendship you two share. In any event, Rana owes much to you, friend, as do I. True Falsame is stronger for you having joined us. Come, now, let's return to the others. Cannot say I was prepared for this, and yet, if this is how Mistress Nashmira would have it, it's far from my place to oppose. Besides, nothing in the world can last forever. With the end of one era comes the beginning of the next, and all of us here welcome Mistress Rana's reign. We will do all in our power to see that True Falsame continues to flourish under her stewardship. Kuilad, my friends, you are too kind. Let's not forget that we are all in this together. If we move forward as one, there's no limit to the heights we may reach. And with that, we must prepare to set sail without delay. In Kugane, too, where there are those whose spirits sag, we must bring them a hope as only True Falsame can. I too should be getting on. The Totentas threatens to return in hidden corners of the realm, and I must train the next generation of dancers to continue our fight. And you have your own adventures to return to, don't you, Arya? But don't be sad. Mistress Nashmira, you and I, well, even if we go our separate ways, we will always be united by our passion for dance. Our paths will cross again, I'm certain. And on that day, you'll be simply astonished at the dancer I become. Mark my words. And so to you, my rival, my friend, I say not farewell, but rather keep dancing until we might once again take the same stage. Hooray! We did it! We got through all 5! However, there's a true ending to the dancer one here. Let's go take a trip to Kugane. Because right over here, we've got one Rana Migo. Oh, Arya! Are you in Cypress or ours in far-flung lands? I trust you're still dancing up the storm these days? How far are you of late? It hasn't been easy filling Mistress Nashmira's shoes, but I'm proud to say that we've sold out every show thus far. Could our Hingen hosts find Hanish music and dance most exotic? You say I couldn't have done it without support of my fellow troopmates. And you, of course. Why, just recalling our time on the stage together is often all I need and muster the courage to carry on. Yeah, I know better than the rest of my laurels. Mistress Nashmira taught me better than that. I must always try to find new ways to shock and stimulate my audience. Lest we too become just another passing fad. And so I press onward, vowing to myself that each day I will strive to be a better dancer than I was the day before. Promise me that you will do the same, Arya, that one day we might again share the same stage. What's a dancer? What a curious question. Why dancers what I am, and what you are, for that matter. Or perhaps you wish to review the history of our art. Very well then. Dancers are the shining stars of True Falsame. That's us. We are the proud inheritors of the Kriegstones, an ancient form of dance they say dates even before the founding of Rods at Han. Can you believe it? Origins of our art are shrouded in mystery, but there's one thing we know for sure. We are equally at home in battle as they are on stage. With one motion we strike at our foes, and with the next we lift the spirits of our friends, helping them find strength and courage even when they are staring death in the face. So it is our calling to travel around, bringing hope and cheer to the downtrodden and the suffering. And yet, our true mission goes even deeper than that, as we learned when Mistress Mashmira shared with us her long-kept secret. For ages, we dancers have been soldiers at the front lines in the battle against the unholy force we know as the Totentanz. In times of calamity and strife, when people are at their wits' ends, the Totentanz lurks in the shadows, just waiting to pounce and prey upon poor and unfortunate souls. It's not my area of expertise, but the Koilo tells me that pangs of anger and sorrow that men feel cause a reaction somehow with the ether in the air, causing the darkness in their hearts to spread to those around them. Before they know it, they've lost control of both body and mind, flailing about violently. I've heard horrific tales of men who trample their best friends or wrench their own limbs off. This is the threat that you and I are faced with Mr. Snashmira's aid. Fortunately, we were able to dispel the shadows before any of the people of Eorzea suffered such a terrible fate. Since then, we have been flooded with requests from those who wish to join our ranks, and so Mr. Snashmira entrusted the role of principal to yours truly, so she could stay behind and train the next generation of dancers in Eorzea. While the threat of the Totentanz can never truly be eliminated, as long as fear and resentment still fester in the hearts of men, I can safely say Troopful Sam is better equipped than ever to deal with the menace. Whew. Do you realize that was just a spiel? Anyway, that will do it for this part. We have one thing left to do, and that's gonna be over in Mordona again. Hello, airship. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, and or subscribing. If you really enjoyed it, consider supporting the channel. All support greatly helps her keep being content like this and more. You can find the links for that in the description, along with links to me on social media. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, this is rinimt signing out. Bye!